Yeah.
That's fine. There were some hiccups, but
Yeah.
shit, those were no. But also at the same time,
That was good practice.
we were having a really good conversation. Cap was on.
Yeah.
Classic.
Well, here we are at Shelf Life Books again on 4th Street.
Volta! Too soon?
This is another episode. This is episode 2 of Provocative Discourse with Birds.
Dude.
This week we're going to talk about Alexander Eliot's book, Sight and Insight. But before we do so, we're going to ask Rich and Jess a couple questions about Alexander and how he came into their lives. Can you tell us that story? Start way from the back in the beginning times.
It all began in Venice Beach. Yeah.
So, I asked the guy when we were having breakfast, like, how do we do this? And he said, go talk to that guy, Abraham. And so I asked Abraham, and he said, we just come down. And I said, cool, man, we're going to come down by van, be back in 2 weeks. And Jess is like,
Why do you say things like that?
so we got back to Calgary, and it was magic because this cop we met at a furniture store picked us out a traveling van. And we drove 2 blocks down 9th Ave, turned right on McLeod Trail, and then it's 2,500 kilometers to our spot on the beach.
Yep, right to the spot. Rich kept saying, when do we turn though? I said, no, you just keep going straight. When do we turn? Eventually we'll have to turn. I said, no, you just keep going straight.
This
And it
road
brought
is
us
taking you to where you're going.
right to
Highway
the spot.
2 becomes
I-15.
I-15, which becomes...
Venice Beach. Oh.
So we went to Venice Beach, and we didn't want to make money. We're being difficult. And we traded 40 paintings for 40 good deeds. So a dentist took...
Went back to Atlanta, Georgia, and said the next person that comes in without insurance, I'm going to help them out. So a woman came and needed a dental extraction.
a one-eared gangster named Sharkos.
He went back to prison and read to prisoners. And also, he was a tattoo artist, so he did art lessons he was talking about.
A movie producer.
Mowed his neighbor's lawn for the summer, and he had never mowed a lawn before.
Nice.
He was
Which I
very
think-
impressed by himself.
I think that's part of what made Alex want to meet us.
Yeah.
So we set up with Abraham for 2
2
weeks, and he kept telling us we had to meet Alex.
Yeah.
And so we were like, sure, yeah, whatever, man, we'll go meet Alex. And
We were just really taken by Abraham, so we're like, how could this be any better? And
yeah,
then
I said, he's like, oh man, you gotta meet my friend Alex. He knew Picasso and Matisse and Salvador Dali. Yeah. So we went,
yeah.
so we were to go
Exactly.
eat breakfast with Alex, but we went for breakfast and it was pretty magic.
Yeah, it was like meeting the last link to that land. Like, we read about all these stories in our history books, and he was this last living link.
And he was pretty old.
Yeah, listening to him talk was like, you had time to think between his words, and he breathed so slowly. He was like paper.
But yeah,
Poetry.
our spot on the beach was about 100 meters from Alex's house. And Alex would walk, I think, around 500 meters to breakfast. So just to set this up, he would walk
It's like an L.
to the, what was the name of the cafe?
Is it
The
the
fig tree.
north or
Fig
south
tree.
end of Venice?
Ooh,
Okay,
we were
never
just
mind.
in Venice.
Center. I bet you it was the
Center.
center.
So, the fig tree.
Yeah, Alex would walk to the fig tree
Down
every
to
day
the fig
at
tree.
96, right?
Yeah.
And we would walk over to visit him and have
And-
breakfast with him.
Yeah, so we'd walk this way, and he'd walk this
Oh.
way. Meet at the fig tree.
And then, did we go to his house the first day?
Yeah, he invited us to his house the first day we met him. And Rich said, I don't know if you should be inviting strange people into your home at 96.
I was all for going to his home.
I know.
But when we
But
got
after
inside,
he
there
was
was
like, I don't know
Picasso
if-
on the wall
Yeah.
and Matisse on the wall, and we're like,
You started realizing the reality.
we
was
should
that
not
I'm-
be here. Because I actually felt like, I'm not sure if I should be trusted knowing the address of this place.
Exactly. That was
The other thing, what happened on the way there that was really, oh yeah, because we'd already talked about Picasso, right? Because I really liked Alex,
Yeah.
but I wasn't editing it all, so I was like, he was talking about meeting Picasso, and I was like, man, I never really liked Picasso. And I was like, oh, like, why would I say that? And then he's like, he was never honest. Do
like that.
Yeah.
you want to tell Picasso story?
He was the arts editor for Time magazine for 15 years. His family was
Which years were those?
45.
1945.
Let me see here. 45 to 60.
When did they make the film, Neil?
1968.
Yeah, so before that.
So he was on the off French beach, and he was a journalist, much like yourself.
Picasso hated journalists.
And Picasso hated journalists.
But he had an assignment to interview Picasso.
And Alex
You
had a
shouldn't
lovely
trust
woman.
journalists. They're all lying to you. We
Also,
can cut that.
But
Fuck
it
it!
just got
Okay.
political.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. So, Alex was.
Alex went to the beach where he knew Picasso would hang out.
And he brought a
with a
beautiful
girl
woman.
in a blue dress.
And he paraded the
A
woman.
beautiful woman? Was the beautiful woman Jane?
No,
I
just
don't
some
think so.
girl.
I
He
think
brought
this
a
was
girl, a
pre-Jane.
pretty girl in a blue dress.
Okay.
And paraded
then-
her back and forth along the beach until Picasso went.
Yeah, call him over.
Anyways, so that's how we met Picasso. And he also,
Matisse,
Spoke
he sat with
with
Matisse on Matisse's deathbed for a month, I think.
Wow.
Like with scissors.
he was called in, to help him cut the paper.
Like, we
not
read about this
do anything
for-
damaging.
all the way through school. And this is like, he was there. So it's a little bit like you're an anthropologist to meet somebody from Pompeii or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there, man. We had to go, which was hard. And then we agreed to see him again the next day.
It was our last day in Venice Beach.
And we walked back to the beach, and Jess took Oliver to the art store,
Yeah.
and I pulled out a canvas, and I looked up a picture of him from the 60s, and I painted him, and I just ripped it off in like, maybe like,
Oh, it's not.
You
Actually,
can look him
really.
up. He looks like Hemingway.
This one.
but like, better.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was so amazed by him, and I sketched his picture, and Jess got back. I think I spent about 15 or 20 minutes on this picture. Jess got back, and I said, hey, can you take this painting over to Alex? Because so she takes the painting back and then drops it off, and I'm like, cool. What did you think? And she's like, oh, I just left it there. I was like, oh,
I
okay.
threw it in his backyard because his gate was locked and I didn't want to scare him.
Over the fence.
I threw it over the fence.
So the next morning I realized I just gave my painting, is illicitly the right word, illicitly, to one of the world's most important art critics of this century by throwing my painting over the fence of him. And I realized how inappropriate that was. So for breakfast the next day, I was going to sit it out. I thought, if I don't like the way he looks at me, I'll probably never paint again. So Jess went without me, and I was sulking, like, oh, I was real. Did Oliver go?
I think.
Oliver, were
Did
you
he
at
go?
breakfast with Alex?
Which time?
Second.
Either.
Yeah, one time.
So that, yeah.
So I was sitting in the van sulking, and I finally went, oh, I'm gonna go. So I went down, and I finally showed up. We had a great breakfast. Everything was amazing, but he hadn't said a word about the painting, so I was like dying inside. Dying.
Die.
Dying! And
Finally, Rich said, so,
against my better judgment,
what did you think of the painting?
and he said he hadn't seen
I
it.
said, what painting?
Yeah. Which was the perfect ending to my story.
Yeah.
Because there was no way he could crush me by not being impressed by it.
Yeah.
Not that I should have expected that, but there's no way that like a lackluster response could have left a hole inside me that would never heal. And that was goodbye forever. And we kind of found this way to speak to Abraham over the weeks where we stopped talking so much, because I think Abraham was a little manic explaining things to us at first, but then we got kind of like more of an eye contact way of communicating. So a couple hours after we said goodbye to Alex forever, Abraham kind of whispered in my ear,
Like, it had not
maybe from like 30 feet away, he said, look over there.
Shuffling.
Shuffling.
With his book like this.
Oh, and it took like another 15 minutes to get down there. And so Alex came down and gave us this book.
Where's the one?
He came to our paintings, and that was after he saw the painting in the backyard. And, you know, at the end of the sort of greeting, I finally broke down and I whispered in his ear, did you like my painting? He took a deep breath and he looked at me very disappointed and he said, it almost killed me to get here.
Like, of course. Yeah.
And Jess read to me while we're driving. We only did one chapter per month-ish, because it was so intense,
Thick.
so much to take in.
Yeah.
We cried our faces off.
Yeah.
It's the most important book I've ever read.
Even after reading it 17 times, I still cried my face off.
Even after meeting him, it's still the most important book. I have to imagine what it would be like to not have met him, to see the weight of it. And Vanna knew him. She studied him in school.
Yeah, that was neat. And also, that's why I'm excited to talk to you about it, because you never met him, but you've read the book thoroughly. So,
Thoroughly. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And then we were at home and we started buying copies of the book. We bought 10 copies.
And we bought another 10 copies.
Well, we got bought 10 copies with the intention of loaning them out
Mhm.
and then spreading them around. And we loaned them out and people wouldn't give them back.
Yeah, so we bought another 10 copies.
And we're up to 110 copies we bought of this book.
Yep.
I think Alex had a sense that he didn't want to be forgotten. And he talked about paintings on the wall and he said, you know, this guy's really great, but people are forgetting about him too. And we thought, maybe this great man is secretly worried about people forgetting about him.
Mhm.
So we bought books and we gave books to bookstores and we gave books to
Universities, we gave books
universities
to
and
people.
book orders and people that read.
And we said, don't let this book ever go into a box. You have to, if you're going to put it into a box, give it to someone else.
But almost
Or-
everybody that has it
To
reads
keep
it
going.
all the time. And I read it all the time.
Yeah.
I've read it a couple times. We read it exactly for 1 year. At the end of the year, we went to breakfast after Easter break, and I suddenly realized we'd missed 2 opportunities to go visit Alex. And I said to Jess over breakfast on Sunday before we went back to school, can we go back to LA? And Jess said,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we just finished spring break, so I thought, oh, we just finished
Now?
spring break. Now?
and I was like, well, can you book his flight? And she's
I
like,
said,
now? And so she did,
I
and
did.
she booked his flight, and then we went to LA, and we ambushed him for breakfast because we were both too shy to call him. And
But luckily, he's a creature of habit and was at the
Yeah.
same
we found him at the Fig Leaf, and we had breakfast with him twice.
Yeah.
The second time, it wasn't so much the meeting of the minds as it was before. We were just groveling about how great he was and how much his book meant to us.
Yeah.
And we flew back to Calgary. He had breakfast at the Fig Leaf one more time,
Yeah, the Monday after we left.
and he died on Wednesday.
And we heard from his daughter who we'd been in contact with.
Oh my God! And so as we're leaving, he hands me a memory stick with his memoirs that he just finished like that day.
Yeah.
And I said, no, maybe you should like talk to your family about that first.
Well, this is funny too. The first time we met him, Abraham asked Alex, "What are you going to do after you've done your memoirs?" He said, "Well, die." And so
That is the order.
that is, yeah. So he was like, he just had finished his memoirs. We just got to say goodbye, and
His book that he gave us thanked us and said we gave him hope.
Okay, crime
are we
story.
going?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you have? Would you wait? Okay, go ahead.
Voltaire.
Yeah.
So
Voltaire.
how long was it? About a year after?
No.
Oh.
The crime? We're talking about the crime?
Yeah.
3 months.
Oh.
3
So
months.
we were out for dinner, and we were talking. Were we talking about this, or were we just talking, and then all of a sudden it like hit you?
We were talking about Alex.
Yeah.
Had he passed?
Yeah, if it was 3 months after we saw him. Oh, was it 3 months after we saw him last, or 3 months after we saw him the first time?
I think it was before we went back.
Hmm.
So we met him, and then we went out, we came back.
Okay.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
It's true. So, well, Rich was having, obviously, he had pushed the whole situation to his subconscious and hadn't dealt with the whole thing because
I
meeting
don't
Alex
take a
is really
compliment. I don't
important.
take a compliment well.
And he doesn't take a compliment well, so he
And I
pushed
was really
everything
worked
down.
up about the mistake of giving my painting to a world-class
Art
critic.
yeah. And asking him what he thought. Twice.
Skip into
If anyone was going to do it, it was going to be him.
skip into the head of the line a little bit.
Yeah, it was inappropriate. And I kind of regretted it, but I needed to know.
And we only had so much time.
We were eating dinner one night, and I started to think about like the weight of it, the weight of like looking for a mentor,
Yeah.
and finding a mentor, and really like admiring, like deeply admiring.
And having a deep, authentic connection with someone that you didn't have to explain anything to. Like, our conversations weren't so much explaining to one another as, like, nods
We had a weird
and
like
slow...
finishing the sentences.
Yeah, this basis in
In the
academia.
arts, it was
And,
like meeting your own Buddha, your own Jesus, or
yeah.
Your own Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Right.
really, like,
Seriously.
and then you have this feeling like, oh, should I be eating dinner with Henry Rollins?
Yeah.
Like, am I good enough? And
No.
then here's me as I asked him.
Am I good enough?
Yeah.
And just the weight of it came down on him in one swift movement while we were eating dinner. And he was
Yeah,
like, I'm
just
okay. Like, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It was that moment of, like, acceptance
He
of,
gave
like,
me something.
Yeah.
And it's like he gave me the pat on the back
and,
that
like, freedom.
the spastic kid needs.
Is Alexander Eliot a human person to you?
I think he's gone beyond that.
I don't think he is at all, and I don't think it's a matter of he's gone beyond that. I think that like he was always like a level up, and I think that like Salvador Dali knew that about him, right? Like Salvador Dali met him and wanted to get closer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the way people talk about, like, your rock stars, like, Salvador Dali might be the rock star of painting,
Yeah.
but Salvador Dali wanted to know him, and they were friends, but it was like, hey, Spike, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
And Alex was so humble, right? But it's hard because we want to say, like, we got to know him, and that makes it special. But I
You
feel
got
like
to meet him.
I feel like I got a good pat on the back,
Mhm.
and so, nobody can hurt me now, Bruce Watson texted me. He's like, I don't know what happened to you in the speech, but something's different. I was like, yeah, I don't give a
I got the nod.
yeah. After that, you're not trying to meet something. You're just trying to.
You're not trying to prove anything. You're just
Free
doing your
pass.
work
Free pass.
and authentically doing your work instead of trying to.
It's a pretty good gift.
So we're going to talk about the book next, but do you think if you had never met him, that the book, having read it 17 times, and having cried over it multiple times, do you think the book would have given you that same free pass, or did you need to get it from the man?
I get it from the man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Alex said that. There was a sense
that's what I
that
mean, like,
we didn't know why he risked his life to bring us the book. It came down to there's a lot of stuff that we were talking about,
yeah.
and he was like, "Oh,
I better get him this book before they know.
you're a real innovator," and he almost seemed angry at times. And it was like, I guess if we'd read his book and went and found him,
yeah.
it would have been a real asshole move.
Right.
But because
reading it afterwards,
we were having a lot of the same thoughts.
Yeah.
it's incredible. Like that's where
And he
the
was
tears
like
come
thrilled,
from.
but kind of angry. Like, do you know who I am?
Right.
All your new
I've
thoughts
done
were
this.
mine in the 1950s.
Yeah.
But also the book itself also kind of, in a way, predicts in a sort of Nostradamus kind of way that you are all going to have his same thoughts anyways.
Yes,
They are
yeah.
all of our
And then,
thoughts.
like, Will was asking, "Where are you, Will?" "I'm here." So, there has been a lot of like similarities in what we say and what we do with what he did half of 100 years ago, and he owns it. And so there's this duality of like, I think he liked meeting us, and I think he wanted us to know that this was his.
Well, remember,
And it was like
it is.
he owned this 1,000 times better than us 50 years ago.
It's interesting though because I was just thinking about the time frame, and we just had gotten back, and we were putting together Rumble House, and you were
I was
writing a
broken
TED
man.
Talk
I was wrecked.
after we met Alex. So, Will, you have a good question, and maybe we never even thought about the connection between like, well, once you're done your memoirs, I'm just gonna die, and that goes to your next philosophy that you're thinking about is the idea of movement and living. Like when you stop moving, you die, right?
Where did it come from?
Well, he
Was
said
that
when I'm
reading
done writing my manuscripts, like what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna die. And you said when you stop making art, die,
Yeah.
right? And now you're thinking about that idea of movement and motion connected with liveliness.
Your art is your connection to your infinity. So
Yeah.
at the moment that the art stops, then you become finite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pause.
Pause. We need to get into the book now. It's getting heavier.